Will your thoughts ever go away? Maybe not. And I'm not just saying that to scare you, they actually might not, right? When I was really still deep in OCD, I was having a ton of intrusive thoughts, images, memories, intrusive sounds, even at times intrusive smells, intrusive taste, like intrusive bodily sensations. There were so many different things that were happening, and obviously a lot of them, like I just wanted them all gone. I couldn't think of a possibility that I could ever be okay with that. Like, how could I be okay with all these like intrusive images and memories in my mind? And how can I be okay with like just thinking that, oh, I'm, let's say, on a date and the intrusive images are there and they're trying to interfere with that experience? How can I enjoy the date fully? How can I fully connect with the other person? Right? So, just the thought that it would just like, that I could be at peace with having intrusive, whatever intrusive thing, that I could be okay with that was undigestible for me. And obviously it fed into that perfectionism as well, of like, oh, I want to recover and I never want to have these thoughts again, blah blah. Now the thing is that, yeah, I've recovered from OCD. Have the thoughts gone? No. The intrusive thoughts still come. They're still there, guys. They never go away. But let me tell you what's the difference. Number one, as we always say, that recovery is also it's the absence of chronic guilt and shame, and intrusive thoughts lose their intrusiveness. So, number one, the thoughts may pop up, they are just not intrusive, they don't feel intrusive. You can, if I were to kind of like draw an analogy, it's like before it felt like the thoughts had spikes and they would kind of like just penetrate through and they would just be there. Now the spikes are gone and like basically they bounce back, kind of thing, if that makes any sense. So the thoughts still happen. Number one, they just are not intrusive. So the nature of them, or the or the kind of like character that they had has gone. Number two is they're not as frequent anymore. And why they're not frequent is because I'm also not afraid of them. If when I was afraid of them, or when I was super like, just like frustrated with having them and I wanted them gone, was when I had them 24/7. Like I would like, my mind would notice and register every single moment it happened. And the thoughts would, just like, oh, I had the thought, oh, I had the thought, I had the image, oh, the memory popped up, the feeling popped up. So it would be like I could like trace that so much. Now if you ask me how frequently I have them, I have no idea. Like, they're definitely not as frequent as I used to have them, but but they sometimes would like pop up. But also they, I mean, like I said, because I'm not afraid of them, my brain doesn't even notice them. So probably sometimes they even happen and I don't even know it. That's just how it happens. And it's basically just like any other thought. If you ask me right now, hey Moment, did you think of I don't know, did you think of a yellow cat today? I don't know. I can't remember. Like, since I woke up, I'm not sure if I thought about a yellow cat today or not, because it's in a sea of like 1,000 thoughts that I've already had in the last like 8 9 hours since I've been up. So in that way, like it just becomes a thought that's been in another sea of other thoughts that way. So again, the intrusiveness is not there, you're not afraid of it, and therefore your brain also doesn't catch onto it or notice it, and it doesn't even latch. There's no fear response. Like, even as I'm talking right now and I'm talking about, oh, by the way, the thoughts still pop up sometimes. Obviously, as I'm speaking, the thoughts are popping in my mind as I'm speaking right now, because I know exactly what thoughts and images I'm talking about, right? So technically you cannot extract them from your brain completely. Like, they're there in your memory anyway. I know from memory all the thoughts that I used to suffer with, exactly what they were. So technically they might not be in my, if you really want to get technical about it, maybe they're not even in my consciousness, maybe they're in my memory, right? But they're still a part of my brain, right? But also, as I'm speaking to you right now, and I'm like talking about the thoughts and images I used to have, maybe they crawl back from the memory to the consciousness. Who knows? And what's the difference between memory and consciousness? Are they both the same? Is there a difference? I don't know. I'm like, and that doesn't matter because a lot of people will obsess over that as well. So you see what I mean? This is very important in understanding that the thoughts you are having right now that trigger you so much, the thought may not go. What changes is their frequency, their intrusiveness, and most importantly, your response to them. Your response to them, and by response I mean the kind of like the belief that you have towards them and the emotional response you have towards them, or even the action response you have to them, that, oh, I had this thought, now I had to change this. No, maybe you don't have to change anything. So those are the kind of like responses on all those fronts that are key to change. That changes, and therefore the nature of the thoughts itself also changes. You don't have to change the thoughts themselves, you have to change your own beliefs and your behaviors about it. Lots to think about.